You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is the Love podcast.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is Love podcast.
The podcast for the universe.
The Energy is Love
Beer.
podcast.
Huge deep breath. Finally, the long-awaited moment has arrived where we uncomfortably sit in our backyard.
I don't remember how to sit.
I don't remember what I'm supposed to do.
What is happening?
Let's see.
Will
The
you top
episode
me
just
off?
started, and I bet you anything that within the span of 10 minutes,
10 minutes?
hopefully 5, let's shoot for 5
I'm going to
minutes.
cry?
No.
I'm gonna
within the
fall.
span of 5 minutes, it's just going to be like normal.
You think?
Yep.
Okay.
We'll forget about
I don't know how to hold my neck right now.
We'll forget
I'm
about-
like, so I don't know.
the camera
Okay. I'm just going to
and
turn.
the people that are
Okay.
watching.
This
Wave
is good.
to the studio
If I do
audience.
that, I'm going to freeze. I can't look at it, not even once.
You don't want to look at it even
Nope.
once?
Mm-mm.
I'm going to look right at
You
it.
go ahead.
I like staring at things. I had to tell you, as I was getting prepped
Yes.
for this and setting up our little recording station
Yes.
studio in the backyard,
Beautifully, by the way.
I was picking up dog shit.
Oh, well, that's what
And,
I do during the day.
Our neighbor, who just went back inside, so we can talk about her now. We love
Oh.
her, by the way.
Okay.
The neighbor in the backyard called
Uh-huh.
me over. She's
Yeah.
like, "Can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I go over.
Yeah.
And, well, I don't go over. We talk over the fence because that's
Yeah.
neighborly. She's literally right in our backyard. If we could turn the camera, you could see their yard. And she's like, "I have a question for you." I'm like, "Okay." She's all, "Yesterday, the police came to my house." And immediately I know where she's going.
Yeah.
Right. And she's like looking at me.
Oh.
She says that. She just
She
says,
thinks it was us.
"The police came to the house."
I
And
know
she
what
kind of
you're
looks at
saying.
me and I'm like, "Oh, yeah? Uh-huh." She's all, and then she started into how they were, because obviously it's for the dogs, right?
Yeah.
If you listen to this podcast a lot and you're a fan of the show, you've undoubtedly heard those goddamn dogs in the background barking.
Mhm.
And somebody called her in last night.
Yeah.
And so
I didn't
she,
hear him last night. We had the windows open and everything.
well, apparently it was at like 7:00.
Okay.
So she just straight out asked if it was us. And I'm like, "No,
I love that she's that blunt.
I do
I love
too.
that she asked instead of thinking it was us.
Yeah, I do too." She's like, "I knew it wasn't you guys." I'm like, "Of course not. We just come talk to you." And I'm like, "I'll be honest with you. Your dogs drive us crazy sometimes, but I'm sure they drive you crazy too." She's like, "Yeah, they do."
Yeah.
But it was pretty funny.
Oh, I'm glad she asked.
And then she was totally like insinuating which neighbor she thought it was.
Do we think it's the same neighbor?
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't.
We don't know.
It's a mystery.
You know, I've actually seen it. I watched it because I was going to give her a heads up. I've seen people talk about them on the neighborhood Facebook page. I've only seen
Talk
it
about
once.
the dogs.
Yeah, they were in the area, and it was a neighbor that was actually
2,
two
3.
over
Yeah.
that way. That was the one that was like done, was going to call. And I was watching because she couldn't figure it out. And I was watching if they were going to figure out who it was. I was going to go give her a heads up.
The cops
That
were
they're
coming.
like, hey,
Get your dogs
do
inside.
something with your dogs. But they never figured it out. So it might not be that. It might be 2 over that way.
Yeah, I don't think it
Because
was.
2 over that way was pissed.
I don't think it was the lady that she thinks it was.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think that it was, but you
Yeah.
never know.
Well, I think the lady that was initially insinuated has some dogs that can be a pain in the ass too. So I kind of don't think it's
Don't
her.
we all?
Oh no, ours is fine.
She said, that's the other thing she said. She's like, "I've never heard your guys' dog bark." I'm like, "Yeah, she does. But
She does. Does she not remember when they had the St. Bernards?
she talked about that Great Dane
Did
that she
she?
had.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was babysitting it for a homeless lady.
Oh, that's what Stevie said.
Yeah. So, but it's gone now.
Yeah.
So
That's
the lady
good.
found a home or the dog died. Either way, we're fine. Because we don't have to deal with that fucking dog anymore. Scooby-Doo motherfucker.
What about the husky?
That's
Sure.
a good question. Yeah, she didn't mention anything about the
Yeah,
husky.
There was a husky over there too. Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe that's what we should do when it's time, when the sweet dog goes, and maybe we should just like foster dogs. That way we get the joy of having a dog, but then when we want to go on vacation, we can. We don't have to worry about, I'm not going to be able to get rid of it.
Yeah, no, fostering a dog isn't going to work for you, dear.
I know. It was a good idea for a minute, and then it'd be time to go. I'm like, never mind. I would take the dog and run.
Yeah, no.
I would Thelma and Louise story with the dog. I'd be like, it's you and me. Bad idea.
Just cut the top off the van so you have a convertible.
That might be the new thing, the new trend.
As soon as we pushed play,
Gnats?
well, not just the gnats.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing another gnat episode.
We're not?
No,
Okay.
because that's all we talked about last time.
It was maddening. I'm still itchy.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I forgot everything.
Did
I
you?
literally forgot everything
What do you mean?
that I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh.
When we were in the shower, I had like, I'll talk about this. I'll
Yeah.
mention that. This is what we'll talk about.
Okay.
And then it all just went out the window as soon as I pushed record.
Yeah?
So,
Was the record here? You said as soon as I pushed record.
touch the head. Now I'm recording in my head camera.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so this shows up to you, dear.
This shows up to me.
Episode 191, where Steph brings it home.
I was going to be funny, and then I think every ounce of moisture in my body just disappeared because now I can't even talk.
You're all dry. I'm sweating.
Are you?
I got some swass already.
You got some swass?
It's a warm day.
It's some humidities.
That's Steph's new favorite word.
It is so
She
funny.
looks for every opportunity
Oh
to
my
drop the
gosh.
humidititties.
I saw it on a post. I don't remember who shared it, but it was like, you know how the drive-in out here has those funny signs
Yeah,
that they'll
yeah.
put up? Some
marquee.
restaurant they would just do a bunch of funny signs. And one of them, it was, why is it called boob sweat instead of humidititties? And I don't know what it was. Oh, I looked. I don't know what it was, but it cracked me up so hard. Okay. Now I'm nervous again.
Could you look?
I looked. I saw it. I'm like, oh, it's looking at me.
Do you remember at the beginning of the year when we talked about doing a live show
Yeah.
on stage somewhere?
Yeah.
So just imagine if you
No.
turn and look out and there's an
there's
audience
people?
sitting. How funny. We should totally do, we should invite people to come sit in the audience of our grass. Oh my God, that would
Oh,
be
but
so
that's
funny.
kind of funny.
That would
You
be
know,
really funny.
one of two things would happen. Either I would completely choke and freeze, or I would do what I had a surprise like that. I was up on and I wasn't even in uniform. I was up on the stage at the school, up on the stage on a table, doing some tabletop running through scenarios. I thought we were just going and having a meeting at the district, but it was at the school. And in the audience, in the auditorium, was full of people, full of businesses, full of newspapers. There were cameras, and all of a sudden went from this to having to talk to all of these people.
Yeah.
So I think I did okay. I don't really have a lot of memory of it, but I remember being like, oh God, everybody was in uniform except for me, because I thought we were just going for a meeting. Like, nobody said, hey, by the way, cameras are going to be there. It's a big deal. You might want to dress up. I was like in Levi's and a t-shirt and just, I'm here to talk about the information I have for you.
I don't remember.
Oh God, it was embarrassing.
Do you remember, is that like the one, not the one and only time, but do you remember a lot of times of having stage fright?
Of stage fright?
Like in
Yeah.
front of an audience up on stage somewhere?
That's the only stage I've been on, but I've had to be up and train groups of people a lot,
Yeah.
especially people that were higher rank than me. And that's intimidating as shit, but I did it.
Pause momentarily. Oh, shoot. She
What?
quieted him down. Anyways, those were the dumbass dogs that somebody called and reported last night. I acted when I was in high school.
Okay.
So I had to get on, I mean, obviously,
Okay.
it was a performance on stage.
Yeah.
And I remember being nervous,
Mm-hmm.
but also like kind of disassociated during it. So
Mhm.
it wasn't that big of a deal. In acting, babe, this is a little side note. I'm going to
Let's
provide
do
you
it.
with some
Okay.
inside the actor studio. They refer to that space over there
Uh-huh.
as the fourth wall.
The fourth wall?
Yeah, the fourth wall. Because when you
Okay.
watch something, especially up on stage, you've only
Mhm.
got 3 walls, right?
Okay.
You've got the stage left, stage right, and then backstage.
Okay.
And that is the fourth
The
wall.
fourth wall.
So there's nothing
Is
there.
it
It's
like
just
the
a wall.
ice wall?
That's funny. Hence the, this is a,
Look how I just brought that
I know.
home.
yeah, no, I don't remember having copious amounts of stage fright then.
Yeah.
I had to do the graduation speech when I graduated the academy from the gel.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a big deal.
So I had to do like the commencement graduation speech thing.
Seriously. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I have it written somewhere. I
Yeah?
found it not like recently because I don't know when, but
Is it
it's-
recorded somewhere? Can you find that, like Love Lines?
That
Can
would be
I
cool.
find that? I
That
would
would be
like to
cool.
watch that.
Love Lines is something else I was going to
Mhm.
bring up. And
Yeah.
so you segued beautifully into it as if we had written a script. That would be so funny.
If we did, I think any long-term listener knows that I cannot follow a script,
Yeah.
so they wouldn't buy that.
So recently, Stephanie and I were laying in bed one night, and I don't remember what we were talking about or like why. I think we were just talking, right? In my head, I remember thinking of like, what does she not know about me?
I didn't know that.
And so I recounted a tale of when I was in high school. And from my memory at the time, I remembered I was like 17 or 18 years old, and I called into Love Lines. Or actually, it's just called Love Line. I found that out recently because if you Google Love Lines, there's a whole bunch of other things that come up. But I called into Love Line, which was a call-in radio show, like a syndicated radio show every night that Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew hosted.
Dr. Drew.
If you aren't aware of that, people that are listening.
Dr.
Anyways,
Drew's still a thing.
Dr. Drew is still a big thing.
Yeah.
So is Adam Carolla.
Is he really?
Yeah. He's got a very successful podcast.
Does he?
Yeah.
I do not listen to the Adam Carolla podcast, obviously.
I don't
I
either.
thought he faded away.
No, they're both still madly.
I think Dr. Drew's pretty cool.
Dr. Drew is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're both still at it.
All right.
Dr. Drew has aligned himself in some way, shape, or form with Tom Segura and his
Seriously?
wife, Christina P.
Oh.
So, quick side note from
Okay.
the Loveline story.
Yeah.
Christina P. and Tom both have a podcast that they do
Yes.
together called Your Mom's House. And then they both have individual podcasts that they do. Tom does Two Bears, One Cave with our dear friend, Bert Kreischer. And Christina has Where My Mom's At, I think is the name of her show.
Okay.
And then I want to say
She's got some mom issues there, huh? There's a lot of mom podcasts going on. All right.
there is a lot of mom's podcasts going on. But they have their own podcasting, not studio, label.
Platform. Yeah.
God, I can't think of the fucking word that would be.
That's okay.
Anyways, Dr. Drew's show is on their podcasting label.
Yeah.
And because he records it at their little podcasting studio.
That's pretty cool.
So they created their own, like not created, but
Is the label Your Mama's Podcast?
No, I don't remember it. I think it's YMH podcast. This is all stuff
Your
that
Mama's.
not
oh,
Mama's, Your Mom's House.
I think Mama's funnier.
Yeah.
Your Mama's so. I'm just kidding. Okay. That's all I hear.
Okay, but yeah, Dr. Drew has a successful podcast still. Anywho, rewind 21 years ago. I tell
This chair's
Steph this
so
story.
uncomfortable. I'm sorry.
I know we're gonna
Go
have to
ahead.
come up with new
It's
chairs.
like I think I just need to turn it better. But
We should just bring the ball out.
I should bring the ball out. It'll pop right here though. I have to put a blanket down to put my ball on to put my butt on my ball.
It's because we're on the ground or we're on a slant.
Okay, got it. I think-
Anyways,
yes, 21 years ago.
Craig calls into Loveline.
He's got a question.
He does have a
He's got
question.
a concern in life.
So when I'm telling Steph this story, I don't remember what the question is. And the only thing I remember is
Sorry.
that
I'm sorry.
you're fine. I got to speak with Adam Goldberg, who is an actor.
Yeah.
And the only thing I knew him from at the time was Saving Private Ryan and Friends. He was on Friends too. Anyways, that's all I recalled really.
Yeah.
I kind of had a vague recollection of what perhaps I asked them, right?
Did you? What was your vague recollection?
I thought it had something to do with the Minnesota thing
Yeah.
and moving to Minnesota.
Wisconsin.
Your door. So in that moment, as I recount the story, then like the little nugget of like, is that something that I could find? Is there a way to find that specific thing? And fast forward to the next morning.
Thank you, Google.
Yes. Turns out they have a huge backlog of love lines that have been recorded over the years.
Not plural.
Loveline, the show Loveline, that has been recorded over the years. And I was able to find the episode
Yes.
because of Adam Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
And then we found the clip.
So awesome.
We found the clip of
so awesome.
18-year-old Craig
That
calling
sounds
in.
nothing like you.
Yeah.
It threw me so much. I expected it to still sound like you. I could just pick up slight inflections in your voice and the way you speak that I could catch a little bit, but I would hear that and just go right over it. So it didn't even sound like you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really funny.
It's so cute.
Yeah. It was long, too. It was about 5 or 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I got to talk to them that long. I thought it was like a 30-second thing, and they hung up on me. So that was interesting to remember that it was that long. And then as we listened to it, I immediately remembered how silly I was and how I basically fabricated a large chunk of the story that I told them because the truth was vastly different. Yeah. So I used an alias,
You did?
which happened to be the name of one of my best friends at the time. I don't know why I threw him under the bus. And yeah, it's fun. You can go listen to it. If you, we'll put it up on the Facebook page.
Yeah. Isn't it already?
No.
Or was that just your personal?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, but we'll put it up on the
I thought you had it up on
podcast Facebook
Okay.
page.
It's
And
awesome.
you can go listen to it if you want. It is pretty funny. It's classic.
It's awesome.
I had stage fright on that phone call.
Did you?
Uh-huh. Yeah. You put me next to famous people and I get a little wonky.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
And
All
obviously
my
I wasn't next to
experience-
famous people then, but
You were just on the phone call.
yeah. All of your experience
Well,
with famous people.
let's see. I do have a little bit. You want to hear it? It's riveting.
Let's hear it.
Well, I'll give you another stage fright first that you brought to mind. My one acting experience.
The bush just attacked
I
me.
saw that. It was like.
Go ahead.
I was in elementary, and I remember when my stage fright hit, because we were reading the script. We were going to do a play, and we're in the classroom. We're going through the script, and I don't even remember what grade it was, but I was young. I was little because there was a sixth grader that I had the biggest crush on. I thought he was just the cutest ever. So any acting with him, and I was around him being a little kid around the older one, I was just like, but reading the lines, I read, it was supposed to be ma'am, but I read mama, and I got made fun of, and then I was so scared to speak after that. So it just that took my voice and just was like, because not only was did I read the wrong word? Did I have everybody laughing at me? But it happened in front of the guy, the older man that I was crushing on so hard, and he also laughed. So everything just imploded inside of me and just And when it came time for the performance, I remember my mom teased me about it because I was so scared that when it came time, I walked out on stage really fast, and just my line,
Yeah.
just shot it out and then turned around and booked it off. And so the person that was had the line next turned to say something to me, and I was gone and was I threw everything off because I was like, here's my line, I'm out. I'd totally forgotten about that. So that was my last thing. It was funny because I thought I was going to be an actor when I was younger, which I don't know why. But anyways, I don't remember where I was going with that. There was another story.
Don't remember.
I lost my train of thought. I got stuck on that story, and I could feel the embarrassment building. And that was just a quick side note to what I was going to say. But the embarrassment took over, and now I don't remember what I was going to say after that.
That's so funny.
So where are we at? My brain just went.
Are you feeling a little bit more comfortable?
I was until that story, and I can feel my embarrassment
You
just
can feel your
coming
stage
up.
fright
It's
come up.
building
You're
so hard.
funny. You're so
Yeah.
cute.
So love lines. Oh, famous people. I was crying in an airport one time because my dad was leaving. My mom told me, and it was weird. And he was flying, but he used to leave all the time, and he liked TDY stuff. And she said that that's an actor just walked by us. I don't even remember the name, but I was mid sob. He looked at me and thought I was weird. My
The
mom
actor
again
did?
told me because I was just screaming, and I wasn't. I was a bigger kid, long, I don't know. I was quit laughing at me.
Like a toddler or something?
No, I wasn't like a toddler. I was 10 or something.
Okay.
So I was legs and arms.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just this
As a child, you
legs
did
and
have legs and
Oh my
arms.
God. I'm having a really hard time. Quit
I love
making
you.
fun
I
of
love
me.
you.
I'm so embarrassed.
Go ahead.
Anyways, I stopped crying immediately because a famous person walked by. I didn't know who it was, but my mom said that was such and such from the movie. And then I was like, where? And I thought I saw an actor once at a gas station and completely went shut up. So
Wasn't that John Malkovich?
it was. And it didn't hit me till after. Then I was like, and then anyways, so I get starstruck at the thought of an actor. I don't know why.
Pretty easily.
I don't know why. I think it's just the authority thing, even though it's not authoritative. I don't know.
Yeah.
But only one makes me cry. Only one makes me so excited to see that I would cry.
I don't know. I bet you could see another one and cry.
I can only think of one that would make me cry.
She's talking about Brandy Carlisle.
Obviously.
Brandy Carlisle, if you would like to come hang out with us and be on our podcast in our backyard,
I will try
please
really
let
hard
us know.
to like. Oh.
Reach out.
She just walked on stage and I lost.
She didn't even walk out on stage.
She did.
You thought when we went to Telluride, you thought you saw her in the crowd off stage onto the side. And
I did.
You convinced yourself that it was her.
It was
and
her.
started crying.
It was.
I'm sure it was.
And then she walked on stage before they introduced her because
Yeah.
she came out with I don't
doesn't
remember.
matter.
Yeah, but she came out with them
Yeah.
and she just walked and I was like, I lost it. I love her so much.
Yeah.
So you think there's another one that'll make me cry?
Maybe.
Who?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
You never know.
You're right, but I don't think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not a single famous person that you're like,
that I
takes your breath away.
love that much. No.
No.
No. She speaks to my soul.
I had a squirrely moment as you were talking. My phone, which we are using to record this episode, has my podcast list on it of notes to remind me of what I wanted to talk about on the podcast.
Okay.
So it's way over there.
You don't want to go get it?
I don't want to go
Okay.
get it because undoubtedly we'll fuck everything up.
I've got my phone.
But I remember, I remember.
I've got my list.
I'm speaking. I remember the big thing that I wanted to mention and talk about.
Are you sure you remember?
Kind of, yeah. These chairs do suck.
They do.
We'll have to do something
Yeah.
different. I interrupt you. The whole thing that I've brought awareness to in our relationship and specifically in my own head, right, is how I interrupt you mid-sentence and finish sentences for you. And it's very obvious now. I'm seeing it more and more and more. It's very, very clear. Let's give people an example so that they at least have something to go off of as I continue down this path of talking about it. What did you have for breakfast, Steph?
I don't remember.
Let's give them an example. How are you feeling right now?
Scared.
Scared?
Scared. I was going to say embarrassed, afraid, and scared is what came out. Scared.
Scared. Well, I'm sure I'll do it at some point during this episode because it's very natural for me to do, unfortunately. But I want to get your take on why you think I do that.
Because you're being nice and helpful. Because I get afraid to speak, so you come in and save the day. You are being helpful. I try and distract you when you're going to come up with something like we're going to talk about something hard. If I'm nervous about the conversation, I will try and distract you away from it. I'm like, ha 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 ha.
You do that.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. This is awkward.
Why is this thing that I do awkward for you?
Because
it
I feel
shouldn't
like
be.
I'm nitpicking. I feel like I'm being naggy and mean. Okay.
You didn't even bring it up. You didn't even say to me, hey, you know that thing that you do? You really need to knock that shit off.
I've said it a few times. It's not like I've never told you to knock it off. I would just, like I've thrown out, if you would let me finish a sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes I get frustrated with it.
I think part of the reason why it's become so obvious to me,
It's because we're here all the time together. See, I do it too.
you did. You just did it. No, I think part of the reason has nothing to do with, oh my goodness, the lockdown.
Okay.
I think it's because of the boy.
What?
He does it to you all the time.
I know, because he mimics everything you do.
Which is what I've been becoming more aware of lately. And perhaps it's because we've been spending more time with that young man.
Why you're hanging out with you?
And so I'm like, that shit's fucking annoying. Because when he does it to you, I'm like, shut your mouth, let your mom finish her sentence, and then immediately I'll finish your sentence for you. But yeah, super annoying when he does it. Super annoying when I do it. So I'm going to stop doing it. I'm going to stop interrupting you mid-sentence, and I'm going to let you finish speaking.
Okay.
And it's going to take some patience and some practice, but I think we can do it.
I've been doing it.
Letting me speak. What have you been doing?
I've been practicing the patience and like letting you, like, this is easy for me. I'm
Funny.
so funny.
You are so funny. You are so funny. So
I think I know. Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I just had another thought of what it may be.
Tell me.
It may be anxiety.
Yeah, it's definitely
you're
anxiety.
Like,
Go ahead.
that was it. It's definitely anxiety. It may be. That's it. Okay, moving on.
Elaborate why you
I don't
think
think
it may
I
be.
need to.
Go ahead.
Don't you want to finish it for me?
I'm trying not to do that. I'm going to finish something for
there
you
you
this
go.
month.
What's it gonna be?
Month of May. I'm going to finish lots of things for you. Quick side note: our challenge this month, listeners and fans of the podcast, it is the month of May, which we are. What should we call it?
Well, it has its term. I think
It's not Masturbation May because it's not just masturbation.
it's multiple May.
It's Big O May.
But it needs to be an M, so multiple.
Multiple May.
Yeah.
No.
Multiple orgasms. Multiple. Do you not know what that? You know what that means. You induce
multiple
them.
orgasmic May. Also, this
Ew,
is terrible.
nope. Nope.
You saw the acronym.
Nope. Coming up with something different. That's not going to work.
Om.
Oh.
We're gonna call it Om.
Oh.
Om.
No.
Orgasmic May.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I hate the camera. This is so hard. Okay.
I don't know where we left off. Anyways, that's what I'm going to be doing to you this month, is finishing off your orgasms.
I can't do it with the camera. It's easy when there's not there.
You're
But
so
when there's
funny.
not, I am so
You hid
embarrassed.
behind the microphone stand and whispered "stop," as if all of it was not presently visible.
Oh my God, this is hard.
You know, grab a bush and pull it
might.
down in front of your face and just stop talking about the
Look at the pretty
orgasms.
lilacs. Look at like they're up there because you pruned them.
Looks great.
It does. This used to be all rolling lilac bush.
Not rolling lilac bush,
Yes.
a jungle of dense lilac
Beautiful.
forest.
Rolling.
And
Beautiful.
this was not the plan.
Yeah?
To trim this bush so that we could do this was not the plan. It just happened to work
just
out this
happened.
way.
Do you know what's really cool that I'm really thinking is just gorgeous?
Tell me.
All of these little shoots of new growth
Mm-hmm.
that are coming up, it's just like the color contrast is so
See them all
pretty.
on the bottom too?
I do, but like even like that branch right there, it just has all this new that is so pretty. I don't understand how you can whack the shit out of some plant and it's like, oh, thank you, I shall thrive now. I water it until it's beautiful and I love it and it dies.
Well,
What is that?
I got a green thumb.
I got a green heart,
You do. Beautiful green heart.
but it does not keep plants alive.
Why go back to my not interrupting you, my finishing your sentences for
Okay.
you as part of my anxiety?
Oh, I feel like I properly distracted you and you did not play along.
I remembered.
I brought us over here and you brought us back.
Why do you think it is? I want your take.
Well, I'm not quite as tapped into it. I think it's because you were, I think it's the nervousness, the moving really fast, trying to problem solve, trying to fix things. So it's helping me, but it's also helping you. Because if you can fix things, then you feel better and it doesn't kind of matter what it is. It seems like when the anxiety levels are high and you're moving really fast, I realize I'm referring to myself as well. I'm not just like you. I see it because it's me.
Yeah.
But the more you can fix, the more you can self-soothe. It's like fixing is a self-soothing mechanism. So the faster we get to it, 'cause I don't like to dilly-dally. When I'm going and you go slow, you handle that way better than I do. Like, you get frustrated when I'm going slow and you want to go fast, and it's frustrated. You go, you take over, you stop talking, you move on, but I'm like ready to smash things. I'm like,
When I slow down.
yeah, I
Yeah.
can't. And I feel like you don't just slow down when I'm moving fast. I feel like you like turn into a sloth. Like it is the scene from, I can't remember what the name is, that cartoon. Oh, but it is like the slowest. Zootopia, yeah. So you had an hour to think about it.
The sloth DMV worker.
It just is that super, super slow. It's like you space out your single words. It takes like 5 minutes to get through a 3-word sentence. I'm not even going that fast right now. And that is infuriating me. I can't do it. I can't do it. So that's what I think.
I think you're very right. I think
Yeah.
it is definitely my guess is if we were to be able to go inside and like really pick apart and diagnose this thing and look at all the different things that happen and why, my guess is that it has way more to do with my anxiety than it does trying to like help you or be, do you know what I mean? Because a lot of times I tell myself that the reason I do it is because
You're really compassionate.
I am compassionate, jackass.
Just did it.
Because I care and I understand that sometimes you get embarrassed and you get flustered and you get, do you know what I mean? All these different things. And so I'm trying to help that. And it's really not helpful. It's not at all. And so that's why I think it has way more to do with my own anxiety than anything else. Hold on real quick.
Okay.
If you're watching this,
Oh God.
shut up. We can talk to the audience. This is the first time that we've done this, and there's a chance that the latter part of this video that you're watching is going to be all fucked up because of lighting, because the camera is slowly working its way into the sun as the sun transitions. Sorry, not much we can do about it at this point, and we're not going to fix it because we're not that technically savvy at this current juncture. But future episodes will be better if there is, in fact, an issue.
I know how to fix it.
Don't move. Continue what you were saying.
But I know for future reference, it's not a tech savvy. You just give it a little hat. Give it a little bonnet, a little thing. It'll keep it shaded.
Yeah, we could do that.
It'll work.
I know.
As less the sun's going like that, if you do that, it'll work. Get a little umbrella.
We just need to record earlier.
I'm sorry. I
It's not
was
your
nervous.
fault.
It is actually. You were ready. I was nervous.
No. Go back to what
What?
we're off of it now.
Well, you had a.
I don't remember
You had
what
to
you were
talk
saying.
to the.
now.
You were worried about the sun on the camera. So.
Yeah. Do you remember what we were saying?
Mm-mm.
Did you just get embarrassed again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the only thing on my list,
Okay.
with the exception of one other thing. But
What's the one other thing?
it was going to be like this really deep question.
Oh well, God forbid.
But
We're supposed to get real.
I know. This is real, by the way.
Okay.
We're not fake, folks. Although, you never know, right?
Right?
This could be AI, Craig and Steph.
It could be, because if I could manufacture myself, this is the version I'd go with.
Oh my God, you so would.
No, I wouldn't. I would fix. Oh, you, yes, you. I would.
If we could clone ourselves, I would clone you exactly as you are right now. That's who you are. You're the woman I love.
Well,
I wouldn't change anything about your
if
clone.
we could clone each other, that was a thing. But if we were cloning ourselves, if you could clone yourself, would you not change anything about you?
Absolutely.
See, that's what I'm talking
I
about.
mean,
This would not be the.
It would
This
just
would
be
not
this
be the new.
ginormous 12-inch thing that would just flop out and hang low.
So you're gonna get a lot of hand time because
That was supposed to be funny.
Well, it would be. I'm just thinking 12 inches. Like, there's not room.
For your clone, there would be.
She is a talented
She
girl.
would just have this big hollow opening inside.
No.
Normal on the outside, but then just a vast cavernous
Okay.
opening of.
Okay. Well, that's what you're looking for. All right. Good to know. Okay.
What would you
I
change
need-
about your clone?
She would be able to speak
Mm.
and not get scared. Yeah.
I think that.
I hate that I can't hide behind the microphone.
I'll
It's
get
like,
you a bigger one.
Oh my.
I know how you like them big black microphones. Fuck. Oh, the big deep question I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Corona brain has sufficiently set in to the point now where it's just a constant permanent
It
thing.
is.
We can't hold on to anything. We can't think about things much longer than 14 seconds. Everything else is just like you're lucky that you're getting podcasts every week,
You hear
folks.
what Asher said yesterday?
Hmm.
I don't remember what thing came out of his head, but he said something just silly. And then he's like, I think I'm losing my mind. We're all losing our minds. I was
right.
like, yes. Like he was like, this is not normal, people.
My big question that I had for you
For me.
came from that interview that I watched with Brandy,
Yeah.
and she talked about.
I couldn't watch all of it.
I know.
I love her, but
She talked about their songwriting
Mhm.
and how their last album. What's the name of their last album?
blah, blah, blah.
Story?
No, that's not. No, that's the one before. It's the. God damn it.
You have your phone right by you.
I know, but I don't want to look at that. It's the first song, but it's a lyric in the song. It's not the actual album name. The song title isn't the name. So it's like this the album title is a lyric in the first song.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
This is
Pause
taking
for a
forever.
minute. No, I'm playing a song now. Stop it. Stop it. Shh. Stop. Stop. It is, By the Way, I Forgive You.
Oh, God.
And the album title is By the Way, I Forgive You. And that's a lyric.
Yeah. So she was talking about her songwriting, and she was specifically kind of talking about the last album that they wrote and how they really made an effort to write from this really truthful, honest place and what was like really important to them. And it made me think about like what is really important to me.
Okay.
Like if I was going to write a song, because we're doing the guitar thing, we're having super fun. I was also, one day you'll have, I keep referencing you, phone over there on the tripod. We play the guitar on this podcast for
I think
folks.
we should do it right now.
I do too. I'll go get them. But we're having fun, and we're thinking about not just playing the guitar, but writing songs. And so I thought, what would I write about?
What would you write about?
I mean, easy things come first and foremost, right? I would write about you because you're really
Well,
important to me.
So I'm easy? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not what I'm saying. And I would write about love. I would write about you. I would probably write about our kids in some regards, right? Those things are really important to me. But then outside of that, I was trying to think of like, what is really important to me? Where else would I go? I don't know. I didn't. Yeah. So that was the question that I thought would be good to talk about on this show. What is really, like really important to you in this world and into this life?
Beyond the people like you and
yeah,
the
yeah,
kids?
kind of beyond that. Because, I mean, it's not to say that that isn't a big deal. It is, obviously. But, like, if you... Yeah, what else can you think of?
Well, there's a lot of things that I like and that is important to me, but I think most of it would be about feelings and my self-discovery. Like, just my story is what it would be. So I don't know that I would be like, I mean, there would probably be little tidbits about getting lost in the mountain, but that's still like my story. Like things where I find myself coming alive or I find myself breaking. I think that's what it would be.
Oh my goodness. I think you just have like, this is my story. Things where I find myself coming alive and find myself breaking. Is that what you said?
I think so. It's okay. We got video and audio, so.
That would be really powerful, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm embarrassed.
Well, let's move on.
All right. I'm excited for that to not freak me out so much. It's okay that it's the first and I keep referencing, and I'm sure all the no-betters, the sideline coaches and backseat drivers are going to be like, this is what you should do. Yeah, I know. I just can't.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, this is my best today. This is my best.
Your best is amazing.
It is not, but this is my best today, and I'm bringing my best today.
Well, this is the first time that we've done this.
Mm-hmm. FFT. Thank you, Renee.
We will only get better from here on out.
Whoa, there was something.
Yeah.
We'll only get. I think I just spit too.
You did.
Everything just is falling apart right now. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I couldn't think of other things that would be like so passionate for me that I would want to write songs about them.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't feel the same?
About my story? I've been thinking a lot about my story. We had group last week, the men's group.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing them on Zoom, as you know. I don't need to tell you. You're the one that lives in this house with me. I was not into it. Like, yeah. I'm not excited about doing any of that shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice to do, and it's beneficial. And I was happy at the end of it that I took the time to sit down and actually do it. So,
get it.
Shout out to the guys in the group. Thank you very much for that. But one of the things that came out of it, I haven't talked to you about
haven't
this.
talked to me anything about it.
But my stretch kind of for this week was really trying to sit with and look at my patterns in life that I continually repeat over and over. And not necessarily bad patterns or negative patterns, but big patterns of my life, big overarching themes of my life and how they've played out continually over and over and over again. And I haven't done it, but we're only halfway through the week. But I sit and think about what are those big themes to my life that I continually create, probably, right?
Okay.
I don't know what they are.
I know one.
Let's hear it.
Big pattern is you continue to reinvent yourself. It's like, I feel like there's people that never do that. I feel like there's a couple of times where it's normal. I'm not saying that you're not normal. Unique. But I feel like it's like you have to shed, like you still take stuff with you. There's still baggage. There's still life. There's still things you bring, whether it's, not all baggage is bad baggage. You don't completely demolish your life. I am so sick of these bugs. But you continue, it's like, oh gosh, I hate struggling with words. You're not afraid. Maybe you are afraid, but you just do it. Like, you're okay with saying, this is exactly everything that I thought was the most important on what I was going to do with my life. This is where I was going. This was my passion. And I'm not afraid to just completely go, boom, I'm done with that, and then find something new. And I'm not trying to, I know that there's negative aspects of that you're going to hear. And I'm really not drawing attention to that, because it's like the spectrum, right? There's unhealthy ways to do it and there's healthy ways to do it. But you are not afraid to, on the positive, I'm just spinning all this positive. You're not afraid to, you don't feel like you have to hold on to a career option or something that brought you some life, some hobby, some movement, whatever, that brought you life at that moment. You don't feel like or maybe you do, but oh my God, I fucking hate this. You're not afraid to let it go. It's like, well, I put all this effort into it, so I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to write it out. I'm going to kick, so I'm not going to let all this go to waste. You're like, yep, that was then. I'm done with it. You have a lot of starts. And it's not that it's a lot of starts and not finishes, but if it no longer serves your fire, you're okay with saying, I'm done with that. And you pick up something new. So your pattern is you're constantly willing to change the soil and trim the trees and just start over, let it grow again, start something new, start something fresh. I'm pointing out the positive. I know there's negative aspects to that, but that's not where I'm going. So
no, I think it's beautiful, babe.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think I think you're absolutely correct. And it is kind of hard for me to not see a lot of starts without any finishes, right? Never finishes anything.
That's not what I'm saying.
I know that's not what you're saying. You did a good job of explaining it and describing it. And I think you're right. I think that is I don't know if is that a trait or a pattern, or it doesn't matter, I guess. It's definitely a theme. I like that one, babe.
Okay.
I do. I like the idea that I do recreate myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm, like you said, I am willing to kind of, all the things that you said, I don't need to re-paraphrase it in my own fucking words. I'm just thinking about it. And it makes a lot of sense. I think you're pretty accurate. As always.
What can I say?
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for that, babe. I'm going to sit with that some more and think about that.
Yeah.
I just immediately realized I can't pick my nose. There's times when we are recording, and I'll get in there and pick my nose a little bit and itch the inside of my nostril is what it is. It's not picking my nose.
It's not.
But I'll probably still end up doing it because it's real, right? Who cares?
I think it's a care. I've caught myself like bugs and stuff. I'm like, oh, I can't touch my face.
You can touch your face. Pick something off of your list.
Pick something off of my list.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's my superficial list? Because we don't have enough time for my deep one. There's no deep sea diving going on.
Oh, I had another question for
okay,
you.
let's do that.
Because celebration month of Orgasmic May is also another big milestone.
Yeah.
It's your birthday.
Yep.
That's exciting.
It is.
You're not excited about it.
I'm never really excited about my birthday.
Yeah, I'm excited about your birthday.
That's cool.
You're going to be 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Do I say frisky 40 or fucking 40?
Whatever.
Am I
It's a
gonna be-
fucking good thing.
It is. I'm gonna. Yeah. 40s are gonna be
exciting.
fun. Oh my god. How does that happen? Like that's so weird.
So do you remember when we had Maddie on and I asked her like words of wisdom at this point in her life that she's learned?
Mm-hmm.
What's yours? So 40 years of existence on this planet. What are some of the things that you would pull out and say, this is my, I'm going to go back and talk to Stephanie at 5 years old and say, listen here, little shit, this is what you need to remember. What would that be?
Believe your gut. Listen to your inside and don't believe what others tell you you are. Don't believe just trust you. You know the answers. And so yeah. No, I don't like that question.
You don't like the
No.
question? How come? What does that question make you feel?
It honestly, it brought me down to a spot which is really funny, that I almost remembered who I was. Like it almost I almost had it. Like who was I before I was told who I was supposed to be, or who I was, or what I could accomplish, or what I couldn't do, or how I was supposed to act, and what I was supposed to like. All of the supposed tos, all of the programming, all of the, like, it's like I almost had it. I almost could grab that gut and know, that's why. It's like I almost had it. And I saw a pretty butterfly. I'm not scary. Everything would be different.
If what?
If I
Had trusted your gut? Oh, see? Stop, Craig.
I'm going to address that.
I knew I was going to do it.
There is a point of that where we are having an active conversation. I like active communicating. Where just one person, there's a time when it's definitely, you just need to shut up and listen. I just need to shut up and listen, and only one person needs to talk, because that person needs to be heard. Things need to be hashed out, and you can get distracted when the other person is coming in. There are definite times when it's just one person needs to be talking, but there is active communication to where we go back and forth, and it's like we're building momentum with each other, and we're creating with that. Okay, I can't not talk with my hands. Shut up. I got the beat down and tap my foot. That is beneficial. So every single time you actively communicate, it is not the same as cutting me off and speaking for me. It is very different. And you'll know the difference based off how you're feeling. Because when it's, I'm not getting to the point fast enough, you're frustrating, or I'm not saying what you think I'm trying to say. When you're coming over, and either they're trying to alleviate or take or control a situation, that's when you're doing it. When you're having a conversation with me and you're showing that you're engaged and building that, that's different. That wasn't taking over and talking for me. That was communicating, I think. I don't know. What the fuck do I know? What do you know? Yeah, I'm right. My gut says.
I want you to walk around doing that from now on.
Just like ask my gut.
Just have a conversation with it. What do you know? Exactly.
Right? I think I talk to myself a lot, which has been really hard. I've had to stop talking to myself so much.
Because I'm home all the
Because
time now?
everybody's home, and now it looks weird. Like most of the time I was home by myself or in between things and running, and I did not realize how many conversations I actually have with myself.
Yeah.
So I'm a good listener. Now it's weird.
I don't think talking to yourself's weird.
It's, well, the amount that I did, it might have been weird. You don't know. You weren't here.
Maybe I hear you talk to yourself quite a bit, sweetheart.
And this is the down version. This is a shh. They can hear you.
Quite a few times where I realize you're having a very long conversation with yourself.
Depends on how upset I am.
Sometimes it's very heated.
Oh, well, sometimes I'm pissed off.
Yeah. There's plenty of times.
That's how I calm down, so I don't come out and like go crazy. We can.
Yes.
I was gonna sidetrack and bring it around to like how you're dealing with not being able to talk to yourself, saying you're just gonna shoot a toothpick at me, for instance.
That is a funny story that we'll save for next week. I don't think I talk to myself.
You growl to yourself and
Do I?
breathe. Yeah, you do talk to yourself a little bit. It's a little bit like a, and then you pull that face, and then you're gonna do yard work.
That's not a fucking bad thing.
It's not. It's not. But you're out there. Yeah.
You're going to go outside and mow our lawn.
You are
What am I, dear?
lovely, amazing.
No, tell me.
You are. I mean, you withdraw.
Mm-hmm.
You withdraw completely.
Very much so.
And I don't know what I do. I feel like I withdraw, but I'm like, oh no, I explode. Do I explode or do I implode? What do I do?
Implode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you explode, but you do it privately. That's why you talk to yourself.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah. It's good.
It's good that I don't talk to you. Okay, got it. Bam.
This wonderful...
That was a trap.
This wonderful fucking time in history has done nothing other... I mean, it's done quite a few things, but it's done nothing but highlight our wonderful fucked upness in stark, like, clarity, right?
It's uncovered some things. Yes.
I don't think it's uncovered anything. I think because it's not like I'm suddenly, perhaps I had some issues with depression and anxiety and coping mechanisms. No, I know all of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that I binge eat and I know all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
But this time period with all this shit that's happened and that's going on has beautifully crystallized all of it so much so.
Okay.
Where it's like I can't not deny it any longer. I can't not be like, it's not as bad as I think, or I can't. Do you know what I mean? If there's just no denying how fucked up I am.
Yeah, you can't cover it up.
Yeah, I can't cover it up. Can't run from it, and so
That's what I'm saying. Uncovered.
it's now time to really honestly think about doing something about it, as opposed to half-assery.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, though. I don't know what that is.
It's a mystery.
I love how you're just like, are you doing that thing right now where because this is uncomfortable for me and I'm talking about some negative things about myself and you're just kind of like glossing it over and trying to steer the conversation away from it? Or do you not want to in turn admit and or focus on the crystallization of your issues as well?
I'm happy to talk about your issues. Let's do that. I immediately, all my nap bites started going. No, focus on you. You just tried to. You just did that. You just said, that was uncomfortable. I'm gonna make it look like you're not looking at yourself, so I don't have to look at myself.
Did I just do that though?
Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
Survey says.
um.
What's one of the things that's been crystallized for you?
No.
No?
I like to say uncovered for myself because yes, I saw it, but it's like I can't put a blanket back over it. It's right there. It's like, hi. Just how coping mechanisms are very prominent. How unhealthy I am with food. How much that has been like all of the like just all of that that's hard. And how little, like how fast I run, how completely fast I run to try and, like, my intent is good. My intent is I see light and I see a way that I can come to myself, I think, and I see how I can make this situation better. I see how I can feel better. I see and I see that, and it's like I lose sight of everything else. As soon as I see that, then I'm like, oh, boom, and I will run with everything for that. But I kind of fuck some shit up along the way because I'm just completely focused and I miss all of these things that I was supposed to. So once I get here, and then I'm like, I'm seeing all the goals that I've hit that have never really done what I thought they were going to do. How it's never enough, how you have to go more. It's because I just like bulldozed my way to that. So now it's like all those little side pieces that were supposed to like come into play throughout that little goal running journey that got pushed aside. Those are like now saying it's my turn, it's my turn, it's my turn, it's my turn. So that's the, and I don't know what to do with all that because I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I'm struggling with, I'm nervous about developing more coping mechanisms because I have like cut out so many.
Yeah.
That now I'm like, well, I need something, you know? And I don't know, all these goals too of trying to find like, as much as they were to solve and to find peace within myself, they were also a way to run from myself. And they never worked. Like it could never outrun me. And now I feel like I'm so lost. It's like I don't know who I am. I don't know. So I don't know what it's uncovered other than I feel really fucking lost, you know? I feel really lost. I feel really Are we allowed? Like, this is going on YouTube. I just realized I'm probably swearing too much for you. I don't.
Have you watched YouTube?
Yeah.
People swear on YouTube.
I know.
YouTube now gives you the option to mark a little box that says this isn't safe for kids, and we mark it.
Okay, well that's good. I'm glad we marked that box. So.
Yeah, you can swear.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take your shirt off right now and
Why
rub your
not?
titties in my face, but you can swear.
Okay.
Audio version of this podcast, she totally just did that, by the way.
Yeah, I'm actually really sad. So that kind of bums me out.
Are you sad because you get to that conclusion that you don't know who you are?
Yeah, that's sad. That's hard.
It is hard.
Like how you just said, like I'm gonna be 40. Like I feel like this, like I should have that answer. That should be a definitive, like etched in stone. I know who I am, and nobody can change that. I feel like the fact that I'm on such a starting position of self-exploration and trying to figure out, I feel like that's like, how is that possible? Like how fucked up am I? How bad? Like how is that even possible? Like you're supposed to be an adult now, right? You've got everything figured out. This isn't like, and it's okay to question. It's okay to have opinions change. It's okay to have beliefs that once were change and to be open to new ways of thinking. That's not what this is. This isn't just that I'm growing and adapting and letting myself, evolve into the next step. It's like, who am I? What is real for me? I don't even know what's real for me. I don't even know. That's frustrating. And that's what seems like, how is that even possible? How is that even possible? How have I been in survival mode this long? And then just like figuring out how to bulldoze my way to accomplishments that aren't really, they're just empty. It's, anyways, I don't know. So I'll find something to distract myself with now because woohoo.
So many things jump out, babe.
Oh, yeah?
First off, I'm right there with you. I feel exactly the same way. I feel exactly like that. I don't know who I am. And same thing, empty, hollow accomplishments. What have I accomplished, right? What has this life of mine led to at this point? Good question, Craig. So I can relate wholeheartedly. But I also see you differently than you see yourself, right? And I'm sitting here listening to you talk. And I'm envious of you. I think that this whole silly podcast game of, I need to stop calling this a silly podcast. Yeah. But the way that we make these statements of like, we're going to be truthful and we're going to be honest and we're going to be real and we're going to be raw and all that shit on this show You do it. I don't. I feel like, well, I feel like you do it way better than I do. I feel like I probably go like maybe 70%, and you're like broaching the 90, 95, 100%. And I'm envious of that. That's not like in a jealous, envious, jealous of your name, but just in an inspiring way. So you inspire me to do more and do better. And I think that question or that statement of who am I, right? Up at this point in my life, I've been in survival mode for so long, and now I'm finally to the point where I can like sit down, take a deep breath, wash the dust off my face, get a drink of water, and figure this shit out. I can almost guarantee you that we could talk to like the vast majority of society and they would be in the exact same boat. I feel like that is such a fucking common thing, even at this point in our life. Yeah. We have a lot of friends and things like that that are our age, close to our age and things like that. I can almost guarantee you wholeheartedly that if you were to pose people that question truthfully and honestly, they would come to the same conclusion. Okay. They really don't know who the fuck they are. And that question itself too almost is like kind of esoteric in a sense, right? What does it even mean? Who the fuck am I? I'm Craig. I'm a dude. I'm a man. I'm a husband. All these different things. But it's like, I think it goes back to the question that I asked of like, what's really important to you, right? That's kind of correlation, and they're one and the same. They're tied together, because who am I? I don't know. I think it's beautiful, and I think that we should continue to talk about it. And I think it should probably be a theme for us for the next little bit that maybe we discuss. And we have to go.
Yeah.
Because very, very shortly, weed whacking and the lawn mowing from the neighbors is going to get worse. But I love you.
I love you.
This has been fun. I think we're going to just do these now.
Every time?
Probably.
Oh my God.
Probably from now on we'll just do the video version as well. So if you've enjoyed this, people,
Clearly I'm excited. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun.
Okay.
It's fun. It's good.
Okay.
We'll get used to it. The video quality will get better.
Yeah, it will.
And if you want more of this, leave a...
I feel like I can't breathe.
What's the dumb thing?
Comment,
subscribe, click the link, do all that shit on YouTube that people do, and share it.
Okay.
Always, right? We always ask people to share the podcast.
Is.
Hey, we're talking over each other.
This is panic. I'm sorry. You promote, I'll panic. We got a PP.
It's a panic promotion. Hurry up and subscribe quick. But I love you, Steph.
Great.
Everybody go have a beautiful, wonderful day.
Bye.